MauLer, you did a CinemaSins, so now I got a JXC, a free year of patron membership. Link down below on fourth wall. You get multiple entries into every giveaway. This month I'm doing a giveaway for a hoodie and just the worst puzzle you've ever seen. Not this one. I'll get to that. I just want to start this video by saying that I've enjoyed so many hours of MauLer's criticisms, especially I've watched the Star Wars ones, very long videos, but I enjoyed watching and getting a new perspective and seeing some flaws that I had not seen on my own watch. But the first time that a video of his really struck me as weird and bad faith and just so lazy was Black Panther. And my memory for years since watching that was that, okay, so like there's half valid criticisms and half not. Thus, the thumbnail that you saw, or if I've changed it since, this was the thumbnail. So I'm just gonna put that there. And I was like, all right, this will be, all right, that's valid, this is not valid, this, you know, yada yada. And talk about how when people blow up critiquing things, they start getting into this unhealthy mindset of going in on a first watch saying, okay, what can I criticize for my audience so that I can get views? Because if it's great and I just compliment it, you know, probably not going to get the views. CinemasIns, essentially. That's how we got to where we are with CinemasIns. So I sat down with this tiny little notebook and I was like, all right, I'll get 5 or 6 pages of, I mean, it's a small notebook, but like, God dang, there was a lot more bad faith criticism of this movie than I remember, and this is going to be exhausting. So let's just get into it. Again, that free year, and if you like this, hit the like button along the way. I won't ask you to do it right now, but it really, really helps the algorithm. If you do, well, it hurts if you don't. but let's get into this. And yeah, I'm just going to be talking about the criticisms, which really like smacked me across the face with how illogical they were. And honestly, it'd be a much shorter video if I just played what didn't smack me in the face. But let's just get to it.
Black Panther opens with a neat animation explaining the history of Wakanda, the country that Black Panther protects. Apparently, a meteor hit the continent of Africa, and said meteor was made entirely from vibranium. This pushed the people of Wakanda into the future far faster than any nation across the globe. One tribe took over another 4, and they essentially blocked themselves from the world as an isolated nation. Why the fuck would they stop at the arbitrary border of Wakanda back in the bloody Stone Age if they were advancing immeasurably faster than any other nation across the world? How didn't they just naturally spill over Africa as a continent and potentially the world by nature of the tools they had? Early humans expanded excessively, and the Wakandans are already established as a people who are willing to dominate neighboring tribes. Are you telling me they stopped after they took fucking 4? Seriously?
So already this is a weird criticism because it just straight up mischaracterizes what even happens. First off, there are 5 tribes of Wakanda. It's not one tribe of Wakanda that started conquering neighboring tribes after they got their hands on the vibranium. It was 5 nations of Wakanda that were fighting. And when the Black Panther was chosen by the god, I don't remember the god off the top of my head. Bosk? Oof, I'm gonna put it here. Probably wrong.
Tribes lived in constant war with each other until a warrior shaman received a vision from the Panther goddess bust.
That first Black Panther stopped the fighting. It was like the airbender. They brought the tribes together. And then M'Baku's tribe went off and lived in relative exile in the mountains.
There are several highly advanced pieces of technology and architecture everywhere, but actually they have thatch-style huts embedded into the structures. Because, I mean, okay, apparently vibranium is such an incredible metal that it skyrocketed Wakanda to a futuristic age in technology and architecture, but perhaps not in the general market that's available to the populace. So they decided to shove ancient housing designs into the sleek metallic buildings. Neat as an artistic sort of thing, but it makes no bloody sense.
This one's weird though, because if they don't act like a capitalist society, and they don't, they wouldn't be so focused on maximizing output while minimizing costs in terms of like the costs of building materials or labor. So they wouldn't, you know, do the whole construction bit the way we do in the rest of the world. It makes total sense that they'd want to put in the extra work to make the architecture the way they would want to.
Creed is looking at ancient artifacts while getting them explained by some lady. He gets rather flustered when she implies that the artifacts were discovered and corrects her. These things were not paid for by this woman's ancestors. They were stolen just like they stole everything else?
Little nitpick. MauLer says that he gets flustered right here, except I don't see anybody watching the scene and thinking, whoa, Killmonger's getting really flustered right there.
Apparently, in the process of being crowned king, Wakandan tribes are encouraged to challenge the current ruler in mortal combat, potentially resulting in either one of their deaths, and for this, the Black Panther's powers are taken away, so that the fight is fair. Why in the fuck would the most advanced culture in our time be using trial by combat to dictate a ruler?
That's like asking, why would the US, a country that claims so often that there's a separation of church and state, still have so many policies directly influenced by religious beliefs? The people in power are not wanting to change things in terms of the US, and in terms of this, it's tradition. Wakanda's not a democracy.
What society based on the progress of technology and medicine, and protection in general, would allow the strongest person to rule rather than the smartest, or generally speaking, the best suited?
Hey, modern Catholic churches could use water guns to spray everyone with holy water instead of making them line up and come and dip and boop, 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 boop. So why don't they? Oh yeah, it's a tradition.
Why can you just strip the Black Panther's powers so easily?
Why not?
Does he not have a stronger claim to the Black Panther than just being the son of the last guy who drank the juice? I figured it would have been in his blood or some shit. In his family, in his line, anything? Is it just juice?
First off, and I'm not even very familiar with the comics, and especially I wasn't familiar with them at all when I watched the movie and watched your criticism video, but it's pretty self-evident, pretty clear that Black Panther and King are two different titles. Someone can be both, but using a little critical thinking, it's pretty clear that the king decides who the Black Panther is. And even if they were the same thing, this is not a democracy. So the criticism still isn't valid.
Anyway, there is this weird off-center cave that houses this whole other clan who are just waiting for a dramatic entrance to challenge T'Challa, and I have to ask, did no one see them go in there at the beginning? Did nobody wonder where this tribe was? They're one of the 5. Does the cave lead all the way to their mountain hideout or something?
What the fuck is this complaint? Why are you assuming that it's a dead end, thus asking why nobody saw them go into that cave tunnel? And also, why are you assuming that it's either that or a cave tunnel that goes all the way to their tribe in the mountains? It doesn't need to. There's so many ways to get in there.
Like Forrest Whitaker,
Save the dream.
who is in this film by the way, has no idea why he's there. He even asks, how do you not know this already? What the...
Is it really that confusing? The Jabari people are reclusive. They barely interact with the other 4 tribes. Is it really beyond the scope of possibilities that Zuri just wasn't expecting them to show up? That he might be surprised they did?
Don't forget that without the suit and the tech, like the balls and obviously the flower power, T'Challa really is mostly useless.
Mostly useless? Considering he wins, that's such a weird claim to begin with, but also that's assuming that people are only useful in life if they have superpowers and crazy advanced tech, which the suit falls under crazy advanced tech, so I genuinely just still don't understand. It's just a weird claim.
So it is finally revealed that the power of the Black Panther truly is from a plant. It gets crushed up into juice, you drink the juice, then you become a superhero. It's that simple. It's essentially the super soldier program that Hydra are running, only it's way better and it comes from a plant. A plant they have like 50 of that grow back. Okay, why the fuck wouldn't Wakanda supply this drug to its military, the people who guard the leaders? It would make them so much better at their jobs considering how easily this power is provided and there are so many to spare.
Why doesn't the US provide universal healthcare to all its citizens? It would be cheaper and help everyone. The answer is the people in charge. The answer to my question and yours is the people in charge don't want to change things from how they are. And considering that the Black Panther can also be the king, providing the herb to everybody or all the soldiers just opens up things to a potential coup if the soldiers being given the herb are not as loyal as Okoye.
What's with the counter juice, by the way? It's said in the beginning that the initial flower power came from plant life being infected by the Vibranium. Did it also create a counter flower power at the same time?
Sure. Why not?
You take it once, and unless you have the counter juice, it apparently works for life. Considering the fact that it's a regrowing plant from the first tribes who ever set foot on Wakanda, you could have easily provided the entire population of Wakanda the ability to heal fast and lift huge weights while being agile and fast, and you chose not to?
Tradition, threat of coup.
Is it a genuine rule that people who are crowned king are the only ones that are allowed to have the flower power?
No. You just weren't paying attention.
Is it a genuine rule that people who are crowned king are the only ones that are allowed to have the flower power? If that's the case, then how did T'Challa have this power in Civil War before being crowned king anyway? Is it just something anyone is allowed to have if they're sent outside of Wakanda? Well, no, because we've already seen that that isn't true several times. How was T'Challa the Black Panther before he had been through the coronation exactly? We know this film takes place after Civil War because they have Helmut Zemo in custody and on the news, so shouldn't he have the power after his time in that film?
Oh, you were paying attention. So you, who I consider to be better at finding flaws in movies than I am, chose to ignore the obvious answer just so you could complain. And even if I'm to believe that it just never occurred to you, you couldn't Google it?
Why isn't there a resident Black Panther for the military and then the king resides over policy in Wakanda while the Panther goes on missions outside of Wakanda?
You just described the dynamic in Civil War.
So when people go on missions to spy and bodyguard, why aren't they given the flower power too? It would not only make them better at protecting their king, but it would also make them better at protecting Wakanda, for fuck's sake.
At this point, I'm just going to start pointing out every time MauLer rephrases the complaint. Why no everyone flower Wakanda, please? What? Huh? Because he says it a lot just to fill up the fucking runtime. It's
By taking the flower power back and burying yourself in large amounts of sand, you are able to speak to your father through dreamland, I guess. No idea. Stop complaining and watch the film.
What is MauLer's complaint? Genuinely, all MauLer does is recap what happens. He gets the flower, gets buried in sand, visits the ancestral plane. What is it? What's the complaint?
T'Chaka explains that his son has trained long and hard to be king and that he should not worry about being ready, which, again, makes me wonder, can anyone be the Black Panther or not? Why can't we mass supply this drug to Wakandans at least?
MauLer makes the why no flower everybody, please, yeah? Complain again.
T'Challa was allowed the power in the suit because he was the current Panther's son? I don't bloody know, and the script certainly isn't answering that either.
No. Because the king chose him to be Black Panther.
And the script certainly isn't answering that either.
And that's a lie. The script just isn't spoon-feeding MauLer like he's a fucking dumb baby. Now a quick word from our sponsor, the like button. The like button gives you all kinds of things, like the ability to get a free year of patron membership on Fourth Wall, link down below, where you get 3 entries into every giveaway over on the Discord. That's a free year. It's limited time though. It's ending soon, so why not just get a free year, like entries into giveaways? I'm doing a giveaway this month of a hoodie and just the worst puzzle you've ever seen. Not this one. Okay, back to the video.
He takes a stroll down some street in Wakanda that honestly does not seem like something you could possibly see in the most advanced society in the modern age. They got some outside grill with wood and rags propping up shelters, trading and bustling as though they're in some third world country in a heaving marketplace. But this is supposed to be incredibly technologically advanced, right?
Why is using wood and cloth proof that they don't live in a technologically advanced society? I mean, in the US, motherfuckers still need wood to make brisket, I think. I don't make brisket. One thing I do know about pizza, wood oven pizzas. What are we doing here? We could 3D print a pizza. Just come on. I'm going off script, but what the fuck are these complaints? Like, god damn it. Like, oh my god, why? Oh, we shouldn't use fucking bicycles because we have cars. There's no reason for us to do that. Why do horses exist if we have cars? Why do cars exist if we have helicopters? These are just dumb fucking questions.
We see some struggling farmers with a handful of baskets, sticks that are tied together to make a fence, with animal pelts and clay pottery clearly being strong exports.
Why do you think they're struggling? And why do you assume that these are exports? What is the complaint? That they don't have gates made of frickin' laser bars?
Jail cell design hasn't changed much in centuries, has it? Maybe it's time they brought in the laser bars or something.
So the scene continues, and it is revealed that this is the guy from Get Out. It's his farm, and he farms rhinos. Why in the goddamn hell is he farming rhinos?
I'm just gonna read what I wrote, even though I've seen the rest of your fucking video, and I know that you know the answer to this, but did you watch the fucking video or movie? I mean, the army guy trains rhinos for the army. Fucking have some goddamn integrity, motherfucker.
They walk up to it like it's a fucking kitten, give it a snack. Why is this normal?
Why is domesticating cats, dogs, horses normal? I even wrote, I genuinely didn't remember MauLer's video being this lacking.
I wonder if this very rhino will have a strange and specific use in the later parts of the film.
Why are you phrasing it like that? Why does MauLer phrase it like this? I mean, it's genuinely complaining about setup and payoff in a film. I mean, it would... Does MauLer want a film that doesn't set up a very unique element that's integral to the third act?
Then Michonne calls in with the plot. Apparently Gollum has been detected by, I'm not fucking joking, the radar.
You are fucking joking, because what she actually says is, you will never guess who just popped up on our radar. Do I have to explain what the phrase popped up on our radar means?
He's just been picked up and somehow they know what he's stolen, where he's going to sell it, and who he is selling it to. This is just info they have. Fuck if I know how they got it.
Hacking into the museum security feed would be enough to show Claw and what he stole, but also they have a worldwide network of spies. Do you really want the film to spoon feed you every fucking little detail of the movie like you're a goddamn dumb baby? I mean, what do you want? You want 3 minutes of watching them hack into the museum database and then a montage of spies gathering information elsewhere? What the fuck are we complaining about?
T'Challa says that Gollum has escaped their clutches for 30 fucking years, and now that is going to change. How the fuck did Gollum manage to escape Wakandan justice for 30 years? Is he incredibly good at his job?
Guess so.
He's been stealing Vibranium enough to store massive amounts of it over time, and you're telling me he managed to slip the clutches of Wakandan surveillance technology?
Actually, it sounds like he got that massive amount from the heist mentioned at the beginning of the movie.
When we have just established that they can pluck facts from thin air.
We did not establish that. MauLer just pulls that claim out of thin fucking air.
They caught him long enough to have a fucking brand on him, but he hasn't been stopped? Ugh, what the f...
Come on, isn't it obvious? They Jack Sparrowed him. They branded him. He escaped. Whoop-de-doo.
The council decide to go after Gollum, and Get Out says that his parents were killed by Gollum, so he totally wants him dead now. This is what we call clunky motivation for future action.
What's clunky about it? Also, stop using the R word. I've heard your defense of why you still use it, and I know that you're smart enough to know that your defense of it is bullshit. I mean, just fucking stop. You're not gonna make that same argument defending your right to use the N-word. I just use the N-word. I don't mean it like that. I mean it like... Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. Just stop. Fucking grow up. Or just admit you want to be a man baby about the R word, and that you don't give a shit if you're actually hurting people by using a word that is so deeply tied to making fun of them and hurting them deep down. Just fucking get over yourself in terms of your use of that word. It's honestly one of the dumbest fucking things I've seen you do before even seeing this video. Just fucking stop it.
Q could mass produce suits in necklaces and use the plants from earlier to create an incredible force for good in Wakanda.
MauLer makes the same exhausting "why no flower everybody please yep huh?" complaint.
Instead, they let everything degrade in terms of technology and waste every advancement they've made except for giving one guy some powers and a suit.
Where is the degradation? Where is the waste of technology? MauLer claims it's only ever used to make a suit seconds after showing a clip of a floating fucking train. I feel like I'm going insane.
What the fuck is this film doing? We can't have such a powerful resource be so bloody plentiful and easy to provide to people. How the fuck are you going to explain this kind of technology not being on the people who run the assignments for Wakanda? How are you going to explain the people of Wakanda not being able to access this kind of technology?
MauLer's complaint boils down to, why doesn't everybody have a bulletproof suit? That's the best case scenario, because the alternative is he's complaining that this technology isn't everywhere, when it is. And if that's the complaint, it just shows that he's done as good a job at this video as Cinemasins does for all their videos these days. Said these days just to be nice.
The plants and the outfits are so ridiculously easy to get, and they connect in no significant way to T'Challa personally, that I've lost all investment in this world.
We only see a grand total of 3 Black Panther suits in the entire movie, so definitely not ridiculously easy to get. And as far as the flowers, let's think. Stealing the flowers would more than likely be treason. Remember the beginning of the film with just the vibranium, which is far more abundant than the flowers? That's not even mentioning any potential security measures in place to stop people from stealing the flowers, because if things were so easy to get, Claw would have stolen the flowers when he got the vibranium. And also, how does the Black Panther suit and the Black Panther flower not connect back to T'Challa personally? And stop saying the fucking R word.
Like, seriously, what makes T'Challa the Black Panther more than anyone else? Anybody could be the Black Panther, it's just the fucking suit. At least with Iron Man, he designed, created, and uses the technology with a combination of his intelligence. But T'Challa just has the flower power.
What makes Thor Thor? Hawkeye had to train so much to become good with a bow and arrow. Thor just uses his lightning. What the fuck is your complaint? You're just comparing different power sets and claiming it's a complaint.
My god, we're not even a quarter of the way through the film yet.
Correct. And I'm exhausted how lacking this video has been. I really remembered this being more 50-50. Like, what the fuck, MauLer?
Before we leave the Q scene, we are told that the suits can now absorb kinetic energy, charge it up, and then expel it as a powerful blast of energy, meaning that Black Panther is essentially even more unstoppable than before because he needed that, I guess.
I'm just gonna play this.
His sister says, "How many times do I have to tell you? Just because something works doesn't mean it can't be improved."
I mean, dear God. Why don't you go and complain about every new Iron Man suit? Why does he need nanobots? His suit flies to him. I needed that laugh, because honestly, this is fucking exhausting, man.
Soon after, Gollum enters the room and has an entire entourage that rush past the old lady and through the sensors despite having plenty of guns. The characters comment on this, but we get no reasoning as to why they're allowed through with guns. We don't even know what this place really is or who owns it, but fuck it, it's dramatic and the nameless bad guys need their pew-pews.
The film didn't waste my time spoon-feeding me information like I'm a fucking stupid baby. I mean, honestly, it's like tell, don't show with MauLer. Why do we need explanations about every little detail when literally watching the movie tells us everything we need to know about the situation? What the fuck is this complaint?
Not Girlfriend then announces that it is now or never in relation to capturing Gollum, but this makes about zero sense when they have established that there are guards all over the place with guns and our heroes have some knives and a spear. Which ones have the advanced technology again? Remind me.
Weird complaint, since the movie is clearly showing that Nakia is being impatient since Okoye tells her to stand down, and I don't understand the claim that gun equals advanced society. I mean, I would assume being able to make spears that can take out a fucking tank with a single shot and laser shields to be pretty frickin' advanced technology. I mean, even in Endgame, Iron Man appropriates the technology for his own suit. So, what the fuck is this complaint?
Not Girlfriend kills a guy with a shoe.
First, we only see him collapse from getting hit by the high heel. We don't know if he's dead, unconscious, or simply knocked down momentarily. But second, you can get killed by a high heel. style theory.
How in the holy fuck did this guy manage to evade Wakanda for 30 years? Is the excuse that he went insane very recently and before that he was totally clever and shit?
I don't even really mind the complaint, but if you're trying to justify a change in character between movies, I bet getting your whole arm cut off is not traumatic at all.
Gollum reveals that Wakanda has a huge source of both incredible technology and a massive mine for vibranium, and that's where he got his arm from. Bilbo replies that Wakanda is just shepherds, textiles, thatch housing, farming, etc., and Gollum says it's all a front. People have searched for Wakanda, but it remains a secret technological wonder. And I can't help but laugh, because in essence, the fake Wakanda is shepherds, farmers, sticks, thatch, pelts, and pottery, acting as a front for the actual Wakanda, which is shepherds, farmers, sticks, thatch, pelts, and pottery with a hint of rhino. Just sounds so on paper, not to mention an extremely incredible base at the center covering all kinds of technological wonders from advances in medicine to weaponry that are not available to anyone but the black bloody Panther.
Or, hear me out, the rhinos are outside the city, where most of the fancy tech wouldn't improve the farming that they're actually doing. Also, stop saying the R word, MauLer. And finally, why does MauLer keep lying? It's not only available to the Black Panther. Does he think the whole metropolis is Black Panther's fucking house or something?
He has to come and rescue Gollum and ends up shooting Bilbo in the spine. How unlucky. I wonder if this is going to push the plot in a particular direction.
I wonder if movies are a series of cause and effect. I mean, seriously, what does MauLer want? That every action in the movie is disconnected? Like, one thing that happens in one scene will never have any effect in another scene, and vice versa? I mean, what is this fucking complaint? What are we doing here? This video is just so empty.
T'Chaka then says the uncle will go back to Wakanda and face judgment. So the uncle pulls a gun on young Forrest Whitaker in the hopes of, I assume, killing him because of the betrayal, I guess. But he's doing this while there is someone in the room with a Black Panther suit? What the fuck are you thinking, you fool? As a crazy result of the situation, the uncle is killed to death by T'Chaka's Black Panther.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? He's losing his entire life. His son, the woman he loves, possibly his own life, depending on the laws of Wakanda. What part of that makes it seem unreasonable? They might think, well, my life is effectively over one way or the other. I might as well take the life of the guy, one of my closest best friends who betrayed me. Might as well take him with me, right? And even if he didn't intend on killing Zuri, is it outside the realm of possibility that he'd decide to go the suicide by police route? A version of that?
Creed then delivers Gollum's corpse to get out, and we assume this has brought him quite a bit of favor as well as an audience with the council, I guess. I wouldn't fucking know, because I still don't get why he couldn't just turn up to the place regardless and demand a trial because of his blood right. Not to mention the ring that he has, and the tattoo, and the knowledge, but whatever the fuck, I guess. He needed Gollum.
He could have done those things, but bringing Claw still benefited him. Is MauLer trying to say he doesn't see the benefit of courting the favor of the people? I mean, it literally comes back and benefits Killmonger later when T'Challa comes back from the dead and the general army still decides to stay loyal to Killmonger. That literally wouldn't have happened if he didn't bring Claw's body. Cause and effect, MauLer. Cause and effect.
Also, I fucking refuse to believe that this one young, barely adult has control over and development of everything in Wakanda from technology to medical science. Fuck that nonsense. Where the hell are the senior staff? Is anyone overseeing this, or has it just been her for thousands of fucking generations making everything, you dumbass movie?
Who said she's the only one? I mean, this is her office, and we see her show off a few pieces of advanced clothing and pay lip service to her solving the transportation of vibranium problem on the train system. But, like, nowhere in the movie do they say that she developed every piece of technology in all of Wakanda. And as far as her being in charge at this point, I mean, when they discovered that she had a genius intellect, is it really so improbable that the king and queen would decide that their genius level intellect daughter can be put in charge?
Not girlfriend then tells him he shouldn't let his past mistakes define who he is now, in some kind of deep conversation, which doesn't make any sense since we're talking about his father's mistakes, and T'Challa hasn't made a serious mistake at all yet, not even in Civil War. Nothing he did had permanent repercussions, so whatever, I guess.
MauLer misquotes Nakia to make his next argument. She does not say,
he shouldn't let his past mistakes define who he is now.
She says,
you can't let your father's mistakes define who you are. You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
and it's very clear why. T'Chaka was T'Challa's idol. I mean, the man he looked up to as an inspiration of how to be king. It's totally within the realm of possibility that when your false idol is being shown to be false, the person you're literally looking up to, modeling your own behavior over, that you might question yourself and question if you have what it takes to fulfill that role.
The council then simply declare that this random fucker from nowhere has the right to challenge the throne and dismantle the Black Panther because he's the king's nephew.
MauLer ignores his own earlier complaint so that he can make this complaint. I mean, earlier he said he can just use his name, tattoo, and ring to earn the right to challenge, but now he's just some random fucker from nowhere? Because they don't grant random fuckers from nowhere the right to challenge. They confirm that the rules dictate he is allowed to challenge. He has the right. This is so fucking lazy.
He missed the actual organization itself, but apparently that doesn't matter because T'Challa just agrees to it. You can just challenge anybody at any point as long as you have the right things.
I've lost all hope that MauLer was even fully paying attention when watching Black Panther, because when they state that it'll take weeks to organize a new challenge, that tells us that the challenge they caused by King T'Chaka's death is not the only time a king could be challenged for the throne. And as king, T'Challa decides to accept the challenge without weeks of preparation. Big whoop.
Like, the way they frame this scene is that he has the opportunity to deny this shit, and yet he gambles himself.
Fucking liar! T'Challa's mom asks, "What do you know of this?" And then T'Challa accepts the challenge that, according to the rules of their society, he is required to accept. Stop lying, MauLer. Please.
He gambles himself, a powerless, suitless, techless Wakandan warrior, against a professionally trained CIA kill-count record-breaking psychopath with a vengeance obsession directed at your bloodline.
Another way to frame this is, he gambles on himself, a Wakandan-trained warrior who has never been defeated in a challenge, against a powerless, suitless, techless, fucking nobody. Do you see how that and this are both not good faith criticisms?
What a dumbass move. You're about to hand your whole land and people to this monster because he has the correct rights to challenge you. Even if you win, everything just stays normal. If you lose, then everything goes to hell. For the love of God, you can't win this necessarily. Just deny him the chance, you fool. He missed the opportunity to challenge you, so stop fucking around. Stop risking the entirety of your ancestors' achievements for your own stupid sense of, well, I don't know. They don't give us a reason for this.
It's really exhausting when MauLer is bitching about things just because they contradict his own made-up rules. Like, the first challenge is not the only time the king can be challenged for the throne, and T'Challa is required to honor any legitimate challenge. Moving on.
T'Challa even says that he wants him to leave the room before announcing his name. He doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't think he's worthy of being the Black Panther.
Just because T'Challa doesn't want to doesn't mean he doesn't have to. Their society has rules, and he's following those rules. Doesn't matter if MauLer doesn't like the rules he's following. Doesn't make that a plot hole.
Creed will be fighting with a sword and spear, which I guess he has training in, which shouldn't T'Challa just beat the shit out of him here? Like, he's been training with this shit his whole life. He's ready to be a warrior king. Let's be honest, Creed's gonna get fucked up. He's got no chance. With everything we know, he doesn't have his typical combat weaponry or his rifles, any kind of body armor. He is in T'Challa's world now.
MauLer, get a grip. What do you even want to complain about? Is T'Challa nothing without his powers and suit, thus far outmatched by Killmonger and a fool for accepting his challenge? Or is T'Challa the clear and obvious winner and Killmonger stands no chance?
Something that bothered me here is that Creed was injured and tired from the fight, and he is now able to sort of, you know, take over Wakanda. Why the fuck wouldn't the other tribes now challenge him? They all recoil in fear at the fact that he's now going to be in power, except for Get Out. So challenge him. He is now weaker than he was earlier, but they never say anything.
Yeah. Sure, the much smaller group of people who had no interest in challenging T'Challa during the first fight when he was weakened really are running to challenge the guy who just beat the shit out of him and seemingly killed him. Yeah, that makes sense.
Michonne then says that she has to serve the king and Wakanda no matter what, and T'Challa's family basically should fuck off, and they do. I don't know if this is because they might get killed by Creed or whatever, but fuck it, they're exiles now or something.
You don't know? I genuinely don't know why MauLer seems obsessed with the idea of non-verbally communicating his lack of integrity in this video to us, since Okoye's first question to Nakia after is,
The Queen Mother and Shuri, they are safe.
and Nakia tells Ross,
Come with me if you want to live.
sorry, she says,
The king is dead. Come with me, unless you want to join him.
so it's pretty obvious.
A professionally trained CIA kill count record-breaking psychopath with a vengeance obsession directed at your bloodline. Our heroes offer Dick a chance to become super powerful and topple the throne. The logic is the whole lesser of two evils thing, and our guys want to save Wakanda from Creed, and Dick seems to be happy at the prospect, which is in line with his character. Then he tells our heroes that he has T'Challa in the back, chilling out, and that they can give him the herb and go win the day. What the fuck? You're telling me that Dick wouldn't have taken the power for himself and led Wakanda out of the tyranny of the foreigner and into a golden age. Instead, he lets T'Challa do all of it while sitting on his ass. Who is this character? Oh, he says it's a life debt because T'Challa didn't kill him in the beginning, even though he yielded of his own accord. He wasn't spared, he gave up.
When rewatching this complaint, my first instinct was to show the clip of T'Challa sparing him.
Don't make me kill you! I would rather die! You have fought with honor! Now yield! Your people need you! Yield, man!
Instead of yeeting him off the cliff and then showing you this clip from Fate of the Furious.
I heard about a guy who almost killed you with a motorcycle and you let him keep his car?
Oh, that confused you. Of course I could have taken his car. But it's about something bigger. This way, I changed him.
To explain it, but then MauLer shows the scene and lies. I mean, T'Challa spares M'Baku's life and convinces him to yield. Why? Why are you doing this, MauLer? Why is he being so fucking bad faith in this video?
I think it's interesting that Q decided it was worth her time to steal the normal suit that was in her lab, but not the golden one? Are you fucking kidding? It's the size of a necklace. You could easily have held both of them. You could have given the other one to Dick or not girlfriend. I mean, it wasn't just left there so that the bad guy could conveniently have it, right?
Why is MauLer pretending like this necklace would just always be in Shuri's lab? I mean, it would make a lot more sense if it were around his neck all the time, and during the challenge he would take it off and hand it to somebody, maybe nearby, who he trusted.
Creed then comments on a spear that has the potential to take down tanks with a single blow due to its sonic power, and so raises the hilarious question of just what the fuck are you doing? Wakanda, why are you making futuristic ships, tech, and suits, yet you opt for spears, swords, knives, and claws for combat? Make yourselves some effective weaponry for fuck's sake. Put that sonic shit in a gun.
Why not? It can take down a tank with a single shot. It shoots and stabs. It's not only more powerful than a gun or even a fucking rifle, it's like a mega rifle with a bayonet on it. But MauLer's complaint is stupid. At this point in rewatching the video, there was like a big chunk where I just felt exhausted near the end. It may all be good faith complaints for the period that I'm skipping over for the most part, because I was running on fumes, and and I'm trying not to like call out or debunk anything that kind of seems vague or, might need way too much explanation. So really from here on, I'm just pointing out the things that really just fully hit like bullshit. And the first one's this moment.
People getting stabbed and slit to shit, but absolutely no blood? Can't even go with the red lines on the bodies? Come on, guys. She got her neck split split open, for fuck's sake.
Which just seems so stupid, even with me feeling so exhausted while watching it, because it's a fucking PG-13 film. It's PG-13. Showing red blood makes it R-rated. That's why Stardust's blood isn't red. This is just such a weird little fuck. You fucking know why. You know why there's no blood. I don't see any complaining about why the people who were shot with bullets don't spray blood everywhere like a fucking Kill Bill movie. So why are you complaining about it's so fucking bad faith. Oh, and as far as that Dora Milaje who got killed, like, it still happens. We just didn't see, like, the neck opening up and blood. Why? What's the complaint?
Finding himself to be pretty fucking useless, yet winning because he is constantly bailed out by his suit, his flower power, or just all of the supporting cast, really.
I genuinely don't even understand this complaint. I can't imagine anyone wanting to complain that a character was bailed out by his tech or superpowers, like, ugh, look at Iron Man getting bailed out by the Iron Man suit, or ugh, look at Thor getting bailed out by his fucking lightning. Yeah, he's bailed out by the supporting characters when they support him when he needs it. I like seeing that my hero is not like infallible or immortal or perfect. He's human. As much as there's tech and superpowers and stuff, we need human characters to be connect to. I just don't get this complaint. Like, oh my gosh, he's not perfect. Fuck him! How dare they?
Really think about this. Incredibly advanced suits and ships, but an Eastern-style bazaar for trade, not to mention that this seems to be the only street in fucking Wakanda.
Just because this is the only street shown in the movie doesn't mean that... Yeah, I'm just so fucking tired. I don't understand why MauLer decided to stoop to, like, CinemaSins level of effort on this film, but besides money, but, like, it's just so fucking lazy. I used to watch all the criticism videos that I could find, all the Star Wars ones. I don't remember others, but, like, this one was just so fucking lazy. And if it made me fall off of MauLer's channel, like, this is what happened. You don't know how many people fell off of your channel unless, like, the unsubscribe metrics in the YouTube studio, but still, and you're just courting people who don't give a fuck. I think I'd talk about that later, so I'll just...
Save the rebellion! Save the dream!
Alright, here's the part. Read this all if you want, but the love's not mutual anymore, MauLer, and you confirming you didn't give a shit enough to get things right doesn't make it okay that you made such a lazy fucking bad faith criticism video. All you're courting are fans of CinemaSins and maybe some Critical Drinker fans who just want a movie that they don't like because of the gender or color of the main character's skin, who just wanted to see his shit on, even if the criticisms are valid or not, which I'm talking about Critical Drinker, so yeah. Which also, what the fuck's up with the professional relationship with him? Like, the internet knows he's one of the only creators more bad faith than CinemaSins. So, like, I mean, you're friends with JXE, so I'm assuming you're not a bigoted piece of shit. So why entertain someone who is? I don't know. If you liked this, honestly, I've done 2 of these back to back. They're exhausting. It's so exhausting just swimming through bullshit and correcting it. And I hope these don't blow up, because then I'll be inspired to find some other bullshit. And I'm afraid at a certain point, if that happens, I'm just going to be doing just like MauLer, just like CinemaSins, just like Critical Drink. Well, MauLer in this video, I haven't kept up, so I'm keeping faith based on the former videos that I'd watched, but I don't know. This has been really exhausting for me emotionally because it's just so bad faith and I fucking hate that. But leave a like if you enjoyed this. Have a free year of that patron membership on Fourth Wall down below. You've got a limited time for that. It includes like 3 entries into every giveaway I do, and right now I'm gonna be doing one with a hoodie that I'm giving away and a puzzle. just the worst puzzle you've ever seen. But thank you for watching, and just, I don't know, don't watch videos like this or this with your brain turned off. Like, push back. If I missed anything, or if I did something bad faith, Tell me. Let's talk about it respectfully in the comments, and let's just all be nice to each other. God, this was just a swing and a miss. About 1,000 swings and all misses. Oh, since I'm gonna like not be using the since this is just all going to waste, it's already falling out of order. Anyone who signs up for the free year of patron membership and puts their address in, or you know, if this is later and you want to throw a buck or two at that and puts their address in, if I've got pages left, I will put it in a nice envelope with a wax seal and send it to you. Who would want that? But why not? You'll get a wax seal of Kingsman. My favorite underdog franchise. My favorite franchise, especially because it's an underdog. And speaking of Kingsman, Golden Circle is my favorite, and that ain't gonna change unless a new Kingsman movie outdoes it for me. Scandalous. Oh, and if anyone's wondering, the table's here because I'm planning on doing a Ted Lasso puzzle live stream. So join that if you want.